Tips, tricks and things you might have missed in the new Brian May AmpliTube software. Last video we looked at the iPad version, the in-app purchase, which costs £19.99 as opposed to the PC Mac version, which is £110. We'll discuss that later. But we look at some of the things we might have missed, how to improve the sound, and some of the questions that people asked. I'd like to thank everyone for the well wishes for me and my family, because we've all been ill lately. I'm feeling a little bit better today. I'm not coughing as much, but I think I just feel really tired all the time, living on painkillers and cough syrup. I've lost about 6 or 7 pounds in a couple of days, so I look slimmer. So hopefully I look coughing again. I'll shut up. So we're going to be looking at this. I've screen recorded from my iPad what's going on the screen, which I did in the last video. Now the volume the guitar that you heard in that video was what I'd screen recorded, because when you screen record AmpliTube, it creates a video and it keeps the sound as well. Because obviously I'm using an iRig microphone, so when that's recording, I've got the sound coming out of 2 speakers here. What I hear in the room sounds amazing. Doesn't necessarily pick that up on the mic. Also, it's picking up through the microphone as well, which kind of alters the sound, so you can hear acoustically what the guitar's doing. You can hear what's coming through the speakers as well. So I got round that in the last video by just using what it was screen recorded, and that might affect the sound quality. Few people complained about that. They didn't think it sounded as good as they'd want it. We'll come to that shortly as well. So one of the first things that was mentioned was that in this software there's a Brian May Red Special pedal, and they said that it should be switched off if you're using a Red Special. I'd assumed it was a little bit like the Digitech Brian May pedal, which had the RS switch for if you were plugged in with a Red Special, and then if it wasn't, you could alter it to humbuck or a single coil. Obviously that video I just plugged straight in, and it was a quick video. So what hit me was the Keep Yourself Alive preset. Now it sounded like this. Which is a little bit underwhelming, to say the least. There was no bite, no attack. Maybe you have to tweak it. Now if I switch it off, that Red Special pedal, so straight away I think I'll be going down that route of switching that pedal off if you're using the Red Special. Some people had commented on when I used the ESP guitar that it's actually sounded better because when that was left on. Now another thing that I've noticed as well, if we go to this one, a Winter's Tale with the Deaky amp, if you notice in the the left hand corner is battery power. I never knew this, but the Deaky amp must be, the tone can change depending on how powerful the battery is. So you actually have a setting there for the battery, for how powerful you want the battery to be, which is quite clever. So if we turn the Brian May Red Special pedal off, we've got the Now some people were complaining about sustain. I've used other apps where the sustain just kind of dies quite quickly, but what I'm hearing now, the sustain sounds pretty good to me. Now if we go and click on cab, we see that it's mic'd up. Now I've spent the extra £5 for the extra mics. You get 16 extra mics to be able to make things up. Originally it was just one microphone. If you look in the top here, dynamic, you can see all the different types of mics that are available. Now they will subtly alter the tone. You've got a lot more range for being able to get things where you want them. This little button in the middle here crossfades between the two, so go all the way to the end. I don't know whether you can hear that through this mic, but that sounds a lot different. And if you're changing mics, it just changes the tone ever very subtly. But if you're really into that kind of thing of wanting to play around, it gives you a really good option. Yeah, so there's 16 different mics. You've got 2 mics, so that's pretty good. Now if we go to something like let's have a look, something like One Vision, we're going to turn the red special pedal off. If we look here at the actual amp, because somebody said that there was no chorus pedal, if you actually look at that amp itself, there's a switch here switching between chorus and delay. So, and you've got your level and rate. So this one's set at chorus. So if you actually click on live, it switches to that. So you see at the top here you have your chain of what is in there. So what you can do, actually we'll go back, you can just slide the treble booster along, because we're not going to want the red special in this, the red special pedal. So I've put the treble booster is first in the chain. If I click on live, this is what we've got. Now I don't want the red special anymore, so what I can do is, if I click on it, I could choose something else. So in this case I might want the Fox phaser. At the minute that's in the off position. I've got a blank there for perhaps something else. Now say I wanted a chorus pedal. Now it's already on chorus, so let's have a think. I may want the Brian May War in that chain. So what I would do is, in this case it's number 2, if I keep it on number 2, my finger down, it's now saved that, so that setting is now saved. And I can, if I switch to that, I could put I've put the Fox phaser on. I can, there you go, alter the pedal, the amount and the feedback. And I've been able to create something that if I was using live. Now obviously with AmpliTube you can get foot pedals for control and everything, and it would be really interesting to see this used in a live context. So that's how you would save a preset. One of the ones I did before was I used the under pressure setting. I saved it, but I linked it up. I put an overdrive pedal in there and I put the phaser, just to experiment with what you could do, because there is other pedals that are in there. that's nice that you're able to do all these presets and create your own sounds, and you're not fully reliant on what's been built into the program. So when you go through there, these are what are already in. So you've got what seems like endless amounts of presets that you could actually use. So a few people have complained about the sound. This, so what to keep in mind with this is it costs £19.99 as an in-app purchase on your iPad. Now if you think you get a Dicky amp, if you wanted to go out and buy one of them, especially the proper replicas, that's about £1,000. I've seen them, the cheapest one I saw went for 650, and I think that was second hand, but brand new, about £1,000. A Vox AC30 BM edition, they're £1,750 from what I've seen online, and you would need 3 of them. So that would cost you £5,250. So far we spent £6,250. If you wanted a Fox Phaser, you probably wouldn't be able to find one. I saw one sell for roughly £300. A War probably cost you about £100 for a War. So far we've spent £6,650. If you consider the mics, because you would have to make everything up if you've got 3 Vox AC30s. That's also to keep in mind. We've spent £5,250 on 3 Brian May amps, but there's also 2 types. So technically you're getting 6, but we haven't counted that. And also for £5 you're getting 16 microphones. A decent microphone's about £100. You're getting 16, so you're getting £1,600 worth of microphone. If you went out and bought, not that you would, but if you went out and bought them, you would obviously need mic stands for them and everything. You'd have to have them wired up. So a rough estimate, £8,250 worth of gear, and you've just paid £19.99 for it, and you've added £5 extra for the mics, £25. If you went into a guitar shop with £25, what could you buy? A strap and a packet of strings is about it, really. I mean, you couldn't, these days you'd probably buy some pizza and chips for the same price, so you wouldn't get much change out of £25. So what you're getting is quite amazing. And it's all, you can edit everything, and I think there's a lot more. Personally, I'll be getting a lot more out of this than what I have just briefly running through the presets. From what I imagine, the download for PC and Mac is, I think I've mentioned this before, is a lot higher quality. When I've looked at that, the full 3 amps are every amp's mic'd up, where this one doesn't seem to be. And from what I've heard, you can harmonize with that. You've got that option. The Brian May, not the Brian May, the preset for Brighton Rock. Now on this one, it only has 1 repeat. On the PC Mac edition, it has 3 repeats. I'm looking into because you could still add a delay pedal into this, and you may be able to alter it. Yeah, I haven't really spent a lot of time looking into that. So these are all little minor things, but all in all, I think this is pretty good. And for the money, it's going to be the cheapest way of, getting the Brian May sound without spending £8,250. So what are your thoughts? Have you bought the PC Mac version? What do you think? Have you just been trialing the iPad version? The fact is, I bought it for the iPad. I've now, because of the same account, I've got it on my iPhone, so I can travel somewhere, and you've got your Brian May's rig on your phone. I think that's quite amazing. Like we said, we can alter things and save the presets, and I think we'll have a lot of fun working out how to use this. Yes, if you've got the real deal gear, great, but that's not portable, is it? So let me know your thoughts in the comments, and as always, thank you for watching.